welcome to those of you in the Eastern and in the Central Time Zone as we bring you the North Florida Blitz, our fifth edition of the show tonight. Taking a look back at Week 8 in high school football and look ahead to Week 9 this week in North Florida, taking you from Jacksonville down to Gainesville and Ocala all the way through Tallahassee and Pensacola and the Panhandle. And tonight, Josh, another busy night. Lot going on in North Florida.
No, absolutely. A lot going on in North Florida, across the state, and a lot that has happened here. And, of course, got some interesting things that have setting up here. We'll kind of, as we say, talk about what's happened here in Week 8, but kind of the thing about setting the table for Week 9, which is going to be a critical week for some teams across here along the I-10 corridor here. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
Well, the first things first, if you're looking for the playoff rundown, we don't have it. And we're just as,
disappointed, I guess.
Little news as anyone else does. But, yeah, the FHSA did not release the playoff numbers today. We usually have our playoff breakdown show tonight. We weren't able to have that. Hopefully we can return to that next week. So can't really speak on that right now. Hopefully it'll be released tomorrow. The FHSA having some technical issues as we were here earlier. But we're on the air. We're happy to be here. No interview tonight. We will have an extra long edition coming up of the Blitz Lines. We'll have the Pick 6 and the rankings from FloridaHSFootball.com, the top 25. As we start every week, as just said, it's time for the breaking news on high school football, the Blitz Lines. And again, a lot to talk about. Unfortunately, I'm going to start at the beginning for Josh, his alma mater. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, that's a little harsh maybe, but I mean, it was a good game. They hung in there with Columbia, but the Tigers defense got it done 17-6. So looks like Columbia, I think they did clinch the district title.
Yes, they did because Orange Park beat Ridgeview.
That's right. Orange Park did beat Ridgeview. Columbia has Ridgeview left. Middleburg, they can still make the postseason. They have a game with Bishop Kenny this week. That's a big one. Then they have Orange Park, and then they close with, I forget now.
Fernandina Beach.
So there's a chance to win the last 3 games. I definitely think they'll be favored in the last 2 against Orange Park and Fernandina. But, Middleburg at home and played tough. They have all year, but unfortunately Columbia just a little bit left, a little bit more than Middleburg on Friday.
And I wish, like I said, I wish we had the playoff rankings right now because that would tell us a whole lot of what's going on here. And that makes it a little hard when we don't know what's going on. And I keep checking the official website. Just maybe something like would magically appear, but I have a feeling that it's not happening until tomorrow at the earliest.
Right
now, based upon it is after 10 o'clock at night, and of course, yeah, that is the case here. There's been no further updates from the FHA on this, and it's sad that we don't have the playoff rankings, don't have the playoff picture, because a lot of what we're talking about we would have the playoff picture to incorporate with it to give y'all some sort of sense of idea of what these final 3 weeks of the season of the regular season are going to do or give or potentially have for teams across North Florida, of course, teams across the entire state, but and all that. But maybe I should just go ahead and real quick, kind of give you all heads up. We'll continue to do the blitzes by the regionals that we have here for the next few weeks. But once we get into the playoffs, we will be more playoff centric with a show. So we'll do a playoff type show each and every week during the playoffs to just kind of give y'all everything. Just run down the playoffs, run down by the classifications, because at that point, it's either 1-0 or 0-1, and after that, it's win or go home. It's win or go home at that point.
That's right. Win or go home. Exactly. We're almost getting into that part of the season already. So, but yeah, that's as you said, we're next week. This is week 9, so we're looking at 2 weeks from Sunday. This Sunday, when the announcement will be made for the
2 weeks from Sunday. Yes, that's hard to believe.
Up Sunday, 3 weeks from this past Sunday. Yeah. So, yeah, it's coming. But sticking back, though, in Week 8, and meanwhile in Jacksonville, Trinity Christian, who lost to University Christian last year in the region final round, they get it done this time at UC, 14-0, a defensive slugfest. So what that means is University Christian can't win the district title. Trinity Christian off this week, will host Providence next week. That'll be for the district title. Providence already beat UC.
Yeah, and that deserves a round of applause right there for Providence. The season they're having 7-1, by the way.
Right, another big win for them last week, and
Yes.
They continue to play really good football, and they're going to get a shot at the district title. They've already beaten University Christian on the road. They'll get Trinity Christian at home, so a chance to do that. But that's next week, week 10. But Trinity does get revenge against University Christian there, 14-0. So
yes,
good win for Verlin Dormany's team. The Bradford Tornadoes. We talked about this last week. All the way to Miami to play True North Classical Friday afternoon, and Bradford gets it done, 24-13. There you go. Tornadoes, Coach Jamie Rogers, now 7-0, and that's a big one to go all the way down, 6-hour trip on the bus and get the win in the afternoon, no less.
Yeah, and well, my understanding is they actually went down the day before, spent some time. They I believe they got a hotel down. They put them up in a hotel around Port St. Lucie, and then went to finish the trip down to Miami. And
good trip.
Yeah, good trip. Good team bonding experience for the Bradford Tornadoes. A lot of those guys probably have not ever seen the likes of what Miami is like. And as I sometimes tell people, no offense to people down in South Florida on this, sometimes driving into South Florida is like driving into
That's true.
And that's not. I mean, the thing is, it literally is it's a whole different environment.
I agree. Yeah.
But when we talk about South Florida football, it definitely has some things. And for Bradford to go down there and play True North, who had been previously undefeated, that's huge for Bradford. So
right.
I say that with a lot of tongue in cheek. It's definitely it's taking that drive down there. It can be it can be taxing on people. I can tell you, I can attest to that too. Definitely when I make that drive, the 5-6 hour drive, it's definitely I'm ready to be like, by the time I'm done, I get to the hotel, I'm done.
Absolutely.
Done for the night.
Yeah, I agree. So Bradford is get closer to an undefeated season. They'll finish their year against Swanee, and that's going to be a big game in week 11. But speaking of Swanee, they get their first loss of the season and go to Madison, 38-13 in Boot Hill. The Cowboys of Madison County beat the Swanee Bulldogs.
Yeah, I know it. And Swanee got them last year, but Price Harris has got the things back rolling on track for the Cowboys.
We're using all of these sound effects tonight for this, all the budget for the sound effects that we have.
The budget.
Yeah, but I mean,
the budget.
I must say, I was the only person that picked Madison County to beat Swanee, so I feel really good about that.
Well, there you go. Another round of applause for Marty.
I'll take the applause for that one. But yeah, Madison just tough at home. They're very tough, and Swanee, a big loss for Swanee as they get their first loss of the season. Meanwhile, not a team that didn't get its first loss of the season. Go ahead, sorry.
No, keep going. I'm waiting for you to say it.
Another team that went to 7-0, the Hawthorne Hornets, and no trouble this time with Union County. 28-0. The Hornets shut out the Union County Tigers after a game last year in Lake Butler, which Hawthorne had to rally from down 21-0 to win. Yeah,
and then you want to talk about the other team in Alachua County, 7-0?
Yeah, they keep rolling. 38-3 over Oakley. If the Beholds Bobcats are 7-0. In fact, Thursday night, and Josh and I will both be at this game at Citizens Field in Gainesville. Yeah. This will be for the district title. Buholtz and Bartram Trail. So a big one this Thursday. Buholtz is keeping their undefeated record on line. Bartram Trail beat Creekside again last week. By the way, they've beaten them 15 out of 16 all time. Bartram Trail wins 31-19 over Creekside, setting up the matchup with Buholtz this Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that sound. And it's gonna be a fun game, I think, on Friday night. Or Thursday night, pardon me. I think if there's one team that can possibly stay with Buholtz, it might be Bartram Trail. Corey Johns. I mean, they're 4-3, but their losses are to Mainland, to IMG Academy, and to St. Augustine. Oh, by the way,
that's nothing.
All three are undefeated.
By the way, that's nothing to sneeze at. By the way,
nothing to sneeze at. They lost to St. Augustine in the last 30 seconds. They lost to Mainland in the final minute. I mean, IMG beat them by a little more, but that'll happen.
But they were competitive with them for a while.
They were for the first half, first three quarters, right? So
again, nothing to sneeze at with Bartram Trail.
Nothing to sneeze at, absolutely. Also going on, as we mentioned, Buholtz beat Oakley 38-3 in Jacksonville as well. The Northwest Classic Saturday afternoon, and once again, it was all Reigns Vikings. They pound Ribault 47-18. Reigns on their way to another district title.
No, absolutely, and of course that the district titles are big of everything, and along the way, and of course, Reigns, and again that Northwest Classic was not played at Ribault. It was not played at Reigns. It was played at First Coast.
Yeah, as right now Ribault, the school is being a new school is being built, so they're building a new stadium as well. Yeah, that game was at First Coast. Looks like we've got some comments.
Yes, and one of them is the thing, and we'll bring that up here in a moment once we got to thing. Marty, let's take a little quick water break, get a hydration in, and then
we still got to talk about the Panhandle. Got to get to Tallahassee and Pensacola. So we'll do that after this, our 1 minute water break, hydration break, and drink whatever you want. We'll be back in just a moment. Marty Pallman, Joshua Wilson of Florida HS Football here on the North Florida Blitz. All right, we're back.
Yes, we are indeed, and welcome back here to the North Florida Blitz. Josh Wilson, Marty Pallman right there. And actually, Marty, we do actually have some breaking news for you here. Not just in the Blitz line, but in
Tell me.
Yes, in a makeup game between Taylor County and Lafayette that was postponed from the September 1 date because of Hurricane Idalia. Well, Taylor County picks up a victory tonight, 18-13 over Lafayette.
Oh, it's a big
in
win
Mayo.
for Taylor County. Oh, that was in Mayo, right?
Yes,
yeah.
It was supposed to be a home game for Taylor County, but it was rescheduled because Taylor County still doesn't have a stadium, so they're playing on Road Warriors right now.
Oh, they've been playing on the road. That's right. Did their stadium? I haven't really seen, but they got pretty torn up. They haven't been able to play there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a good win to go to Mayo, and when Lafayette's been struggling a little bit lately, they were playing better earlier in the year.
So that puts Lafayette down to 4-3 on the season. So.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, we're wondering. I mean, since the playoff rankings they get calculated today, could the whole thing calculated tomorrow and that loss be calculated in? We'll see if it shows up tomorrow. Let's see if we even get playoff rankings this week. We'll find out here soon. We'll find out.
We will, and we'll let you know about it as soon as we can. Hopefully next Tuesday we'll be back for another edition of our playoff breakdown show. But still got to find out as we head towards the Panhandle. Let's stop off in Tallahassee. Well, Leon started 6-0, and they are now struggling. They lose their second in a row, and it wasn't even close. Childs beats the Leon Lions 37-0 after Lincoln had beaten Leon the week before.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of such teams in the Panhandle, too, around the Big Bend, not too far away down the street, how about Lincoln pounds city rival Rickards 36-7? So there you go.
Rolling. They beat Leon week before, shut him out. They only give up 7 to Rickards. Lincoln is in pretty good shape to win another district title. That's 3S District 2. So the Lincoln Trojans once again having a big run at it right now as we continue west towards Pensacola.
Well, by the way, before we get to that, Marty, Jonathan Ferris did says if Lincoln beats Arnold on Friday, Lincoln would be district champions right here. So Jonathan Ferris chimes in on that one, and he is absolutely right. They do play Arnold this week. Friday, I believe they are playing there on the road at Arnold. So there you go, there.
Put that Olin up. Where do you get all these great sound effects?
Yeah. Well, some of them are sitting here on this mixer board that I've got right off to my side of me here that we're part of the mixer board. Some of them I find through the interways of the called the internet.
Some of them, they have a band over here that plays.
Yeah.
Corner, so
wait. What's the name of Jimmy Fallon's band, by the way?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Oh, the Roots. That's right.
The Roots crew.
The Roots. Yeah, we got we got our own version of the Roots.
Show, right.
Yeah,
the Roots. Yeah, Questlove. Right.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be awesome. We could get him playing over here during our show. But yeah, that's Josh has got the sound effects going, and like I said, our budget for sound effects is huge, so we can have whatever we want as far as sounds go. But all right, so one more thing to talk about, and as we head to the Panhandle, Choctaw beating Escambia 24-20. Choctaw, Frank Beasley's team continuing to get it done as they knock off the Escambia Gators.
Hey, that deserves a big round of applause there for Choctaw. Now they're in control of District 3S1, and I mean, when we talk about Choctaw, a team that went to the regional finals last year, came up that, just short against Columbia for the right to go to the state semifinals. I think, really, to be honest with you, I mean that if there's a team to fear in 3S Region 1, that's your team right there to fear.
Choctaw?
Yes.
Well, we saw what they did last year. They went to St. Augustine and won. I think they beat
Columbia. They beat St. Augustine in one. They beat Pine Forest in the second round, and they came up just short against Columbia there in the regional final.
They nearly beat Columbia.
So there's the team that you want to fear. It's not St. Augustine you want to fear in Region 3S1. It's Choctaw, because Choctaw has the capabilities. Choctaw will sneak up on you quietly, and that's the thing, in my view, is that they just sneak up on you. And Frank Beasley is a heck of a ball coach. I mean, we've seen it. If you go back and look at his years when he was at Dunn. By the way, Frank Beasley also had a couple of years as head coach at Columbia way back when in the day. So
he's been everywhere.
He's been everywhere. But Frank Beasley, this is his alma mater. This is his alma mater. I mean, you can't.
Right.
For what Frank Beasley's doing, it's just very, very impressive. I will tell you, there's when looking at things here, it just, at the end of the day, Choctaw is going to be a team that you have to keep an eye on here as we go through the rest of the season and into the playoffs.
Yeah,
no questions about it.
Frank spent some time at Dunellen. They did really well there, and that's where he ended up going from to the FHSA, which is where we really got to know him well as the football administrator. And then he's like, want to get back into coaching, and well, he has. He's done a really good job going back to his alma mater there at Fort Walton Beach at Choctaw. So Choctaw with a big win there against Escambia, and Choctaw's in pretty good position to make it back to the playoffs this year. It looks like they will do that. So you mentioned St. Augustine. St. Augustine's going to be a team to watch too, though. I mean, that team has been rolling, and they were off last week, but I
think they have Gainesville this week.
Yeah, that's going to get ugly.
That's not going to be a beautiful game. I will tell you that.
Thursday night's game at Citizens Field will be great. Buholtz and Bartram Trail. Friday night's game, St. Augustine, Gainesville. I don't know. It's going to be a rough one, probably, I think, for the Hurricanes. But Gainesville coming off a shutout loss to Kansas last week.
Hey, wouldn't it be behoovous to mention that Newberry blanked Eastside 38-0?
Yeah, Newberry had a tough loss to Williston the week before. Williston beat Newberry in the final minute, but they easily handled Eastside 38-0. And Newberry, they're going to watch them in the playoffs. I mean, they've only lost 2 games to Hawthorne and to Williston, and they're going to be a team to watch. We talked to Ed Johnson a few weeks ago before that Williston game. He's got a really good team, and their defense has been excellent. Eastside probably still going to be district champs, but because they have a game with Santa Fe next week that'll clinch that. But, yeah, Newberry beating Eastside for the second year in a row. And I think we've covered about everything there at this point. So
a lot of good topics here so far.
We got a lot going on. Yeah, North Florida, of course, big area to cover. So that will bring us now to our top 25 rankings for the week from FloridaHSFootball.com as we take a look at the teams from North Florida.
And there's not a whole lot of teams in terms of the top 25 in North Florida. We'll start with 17, St. Augustine. That's about the first team you will find there sitting there. From North Florida is St. Augustine sitting there at 17, Buholtz at 18, Bradford at 21 right there. Wow. Those are the 3 teams that we can talk about right there.
Are you underrating the North Florida?
Not necessarily, no. That is a negative big bird.
Negatory? Yeah. Okay.
That is a negatory big bird.
I don't know, because I think St. Augustine is St. Augustine's a really good team, but yeah, it's tough when you're ranking 25 teams in the whole state of Florida. Buholtz being 18th is interesting because the computer rankings I've seen have them like second in the whole state in some of them, but I don't know how they come up with all that.
Margin of victory is not in there. So
margin of victory, schedule strength, I'm sure has a lot to do with it. But Jonathan Ferris says, Josh Arnold, the game is at Arnold, Lincoln and Arnold. Not sure if it's Thursday or Friday. Besides Choctaw, who's the team you don't want to see in the playoffs?
Oh man, St. Augustine. I mean, because St. Augustine is going to be dangerous.
Yeah,
but
Lincoln.
Who's a team? Lincoln, maybe. Lincoln's doing pretty well. So sorry, Jonathan. I know that's your alma mater. Sorry. So
who Lincoln? Oh,
yeah. Or should I be sorry? Not sorry. I don't know.
Which one? Lincoln is his alma
mater. Lincoln is his alma mater. So
I think that Lincoln's always pretty tough. I mean, it's not they seem to get better as the season goes on, and we'll see as we head towards the playoffs. A lot of interesting things are coming up here in the next few weeks, but
I can tell you the rest of the rankings here. Mandarin's sitting 7th in 4M right now, and of course we get into no teams in that 3M are from the North Florida are sitting there in terms of being ranked. But Range sitting there at number 4 there in 2M. Riverside 9, Bowles 10. Bishop Kitty just on the bubble right there. And of course, as you said, 1M, Trinity Christian, who would usually typically be in the top 25, but their struggles, this year have cost them being in the top 25. We'll see. But they're sitting there at number 6 there in 1M, Providence 7, and of course, then there's University Christian sitting there at number 10.
Yeah, University Christian is in trouble. I mean, they probably still make the playoffs, but they losing both those district games to Providence and Trinity, they're in trouble. But all right. So that takes a look at the rankings for the state, top 25, and for each classification, according to FloridaHSFootball.com, which you can find on the website.
And by the way, I should mention that Hawthorne Williston's still sitting 1-2 in the 1R.
They're 1-2 right in there, and of course the last numbers last week for the FHSA had Williston 1, Hawthorne 2 in that region. So it's either one or the other. Newberry was 3rd as well. So, all right. Well, before we go tonight, it's time for our weekly picks column, the Pick 6. Here we go. As we take you out on this Tuesday night here on the North Florida Blitz.
Well, let's take a trip up I-75 to Cincinnati, Ohio, because that's where Trinity Catholic is playing St. Xavier. And Trinity Catholic, who is 2-5, by the way, the means of one forfeit victory last week, because Central Florida Christian did not have enough players. I believe it was homecoming for Trinity Catholic.
What was their only win on the field against this year? Was it
the only win on the field this year? I want to say is to Gainesville.
That's right, GHS, and they closed with Buchholz. So, well,
yeah. Well, if and Trinity Catholic, I mean, here you go, and St. Xavier, the Bombers,
5-4. They I think they've been better in the past.
Yes.
But as you said, straight up I-75 from Ocala. This is Ocala Trinity Catholic, by the way, to Cincinnati. I mentioned last week, talking about Durant going to Lowndes, long road trip. This is a long road trip.
You mean Dunbar going to Lowndes?
I'm sorry, Dunbar. Did I say Durant?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I got confused. Yes, Dunbar. Sorry. Dunbar going to Lowndes. But I just don't. I just think it's a long way to go for this game. I'll take the home team here at St. Xavier to win.
Yeah, I'm going with St. Xavier as well, Marty. And I think that's just a long road trip. I don't know if Trinity Catholic's driving up there. I don't know if they're flying. I don't know.
They can probably fly.
They're probably flying. Right. John Brantley's got the connections.
Yes, absolutely. And I guess that, that's, again, an interesting trip to go on the road like that to Cincinnati. Trinity Catholic needs wins, but I don't know if it's going to start this week. But they could still win a state title and go like 3-7. I think that's very possible. All right, here's a big game here. 2 unbeaten teams actually meeting down in Pasco County, Williston and Hudson. So Hudson, who plays in 2S, and Williston, of course, 1R. They're the second-ranked team.
So, by the way, cliff note of sorts.
Okay.
Williston's already beaten a team from Pasco County this year.
Did they?
Yes. That team would be Lando Lakes.
Lando Lakes, that's right. They did. That was at home. That was at
yes.
Williston,
but this time they got to go on the road.
They beat him pretty soundly, too, if I remember. Yeah, and despite the fact that Williston's going on the road for this game, I think I like Williston.
You do.
I do, because I just think that this is a team that's they're just very, very focused. They're really playing well. The defense has just been unbelievable for them. I'll take the Red Devils to win.
Here's the thing. Williston has a 7-time winning state championship head coach in Florida.
Correct.
By the way, he has other state championship wins in Georgia.
Yeah, I think he's won 10 overall, right? Or 9?
It's somewhere in that
7 in
number.
Florida, 2 in Georgia, 3 at Union County, 4 at University Christian. That's right. So.
Yeah, he's already an official Hall of Famer, by the way. So you can say, hey, well, what Hall of Fame? I guess the question is what Hall of Fame Robbie Pruitt is not in. That's the question mark.
That's also true. Yeah.
And Robbie Pruitt. I mean, you cannot ignore the fact that this man's a legend, and what he's done at Williston in just 2 years' time, or less than 2 years' time, has been nothing short of magnificent. But this year, they upped the schedule even further compared to last year. And Hudson, when I look at the schedule that Williston has played so far compared to Hudson,
yeah,
Williston's got an edge here.
Yeah, they do. I think so as well.
And I'm going with the Red Devils as well on this one.
Okay.
And we got some comments sitting here in the box, but And Gene McKenzie joining us over there from Bradford County. But if it comes to it, I don't see Williston beating Hawthorne. Ooh, shots fired.
Don't get ahead of ourselves. That's something we're going to have to be talking about probably in December. Williston beating
And,
Hawthorne.
he says,
November, but
I think Williston will win that game in the regular season. They're strong, so,
And I might agree with Gene. I'm not going to say if I am or not, but yeah, right now, you might be right. But that game is, if it happens, is a long way off.
And then real quick, JC Denton chimes in about Ocala Trinity Catholic may win a state championship, but they need to back off the schedule next year. JC, I don't know if we can tell John Brantley III that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd tell him.
That's John Brantley III's the MO, and usually he has talent, and they do have some talent, but they did lose a lot of seniors from last year's team. So
right.
So let's just keep that in mind here. That John Brantley III, he scheduling is not the week for with him.
And if you win a state title, I mean, it was worth it. I think. I mean, I know you lost a lot of games. Maybe it's not worth losing a lot of games in the regular season, but if you win a state title, something tells me it's got to be. So, all right, next game up, it is up. We're heading over to Tallahassee.
Wakulla, North Florida Christian.
Yeah, good one here. These two teams, I think, Wakulla coming in. They are.
Wakulla is undefeated.
Unbeaten, yeah. And then, of course,
I believe they're 7 or they're 6.
Wakulla is always
2S.
Yeah, they're always tough. So at North Florida Christian, they're usually good as well.
Yeah, Wakulla sitting there at 7-0. North Florida Christian sitting there at 6-2. North Florida Christian ranked number 3 in 1S. Wakulla sitting there at number 4 in 2S.
Right.
My thought on this, Marty, is it really comes down to some simple things. Wakulla is just great. Wakulla's got a great quarterback, Hayden Cleese. For me, it just really, North Florida Christian, and by the way, if you really want to hear another thing that was a really interesting story, North Florida Christian ended up winning by forfeit last week to Rocky Bayou Christian because Rocky Bayou Christian, apparently, according to the Tallahassee Democrat, was using officials that were not approved by the FHAA, and they could not find another official screw in time for that game, so Rocky Bayou had to forfeit. How about that?
Weird. Who did they find the officials from then?
That we don't know, but that's the story, and that's what the Tallahassee Democrat reports. Liam Rooney there, the Tallahassee Democrat, reported that, so props to him on that reporting there. So,
right.
But
I'm telling you that I've seen McCullough play many times. I went to McCullough a couple years ago for a playoff game. This is a powerhouse. They will win this game against North Florida Christian, even on the road in Tallahassee. We're Eagles.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'm going with Wakulla myself. I think Wakulla stays undefeated, which then sets up for a district championship matchup the next week with Swanee.
That's right. No, that would be the game next week. That would be a huge one. Swanee and Wakulla. Swanee's got Wakulla and Bradford still coming up. So it's really tough here at the end of the year for the Bulldogs. All right, we're heading even further west now.
Along the I-10 corridor. How about that?
I-10 corridor, we head to the Pensacola area. It's Irishville, Navarre, and Pace. Always a good ball game.
This is a good ball game, and pretty much district championships on the line here. But Pace has been really strong this year. Navarre's kind of started off slow a little bit, but I'm just this is a tough one. I mean, if this was at Navarre, if this had been at C. Russell Stadium in Navarre, I'd probably take Navarre. But Pace, really good.
What's the stadium in Navarre?
Bennett C. Russell Stadium.
I thought you said Steve Russell Stadium. No. I was like, I named the stadium after Steve Russell. Yeah,
but I am going with Pace here. I like what Pace has been doing. They've been really strong. Kent Smith's got them really doing really well here. I don't see any really true flaws there. Pace can not only throw it, but they love to run it, and they have some great defense over there. And I'm just sticking with the Patriots.
Pace, Pace in Italian. Pace, not Monsignor Pace, but because that's in Miami. But yes, Pace through the years, they have had some nice runs as well. I like Pace to win this game as well at home. Again, Navarre having a good year. They've come back really well, but I would take Pace as well at home. All right.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All right, we head now over to back to the Atlantic coast.
Down I-95.
Right down I-95 to Palm Coast. And what a year Matanzas is having, 5-2. And they will host the 5-2 Clay Blue Devils, who had a tough loss to Middleburg a few weeks ago, but this is kind of a game for playoff positioning, really.
Oh yeah,
this is St. Augustine.
Oh yeah, Clay Clay actually took a step backwards after losing to Middleburg, and then now you lost to Menendez last week. So now
That's
you're
right. They lost 2 in a row.
and now you're in a situation. Actually, I want to say Clay actually has 3 losses. Actually,
they're 4-3. You're right. Sorry.
So Clay is 4-3, and Michael Ashio. I don't know if Michael Ashio is watching tonight or not, but he pointed out last week that this game would be everything about playoff positioning, and sure enough, he is spot on the money.
Yep, got it.
And I will tell you this: Matanzas has just looked really impressive, and Clay has looked like they were doing all right, but they have taken a slide back here the last 2 weeks. I am going Matanzas at home to win over Clay and put themselves in a spot for to pretty much kind of nail down a playoff spot and leave Clay hanging out in hopes of running on gas fumes for a playoff spot.
Yeah, I think Middleburg may have ruined Clay.
Okay, congratulations, Broncos. You did a good job on that one.
It does appear it does appear that Clay. You're right. They couldn't come back last week against Menendez. So
there you go.
It's a tough one. I've been with you. I think Matanzas, the Pirates of Matanzas, will get it done at home against Clay. So
yeah, you're right.
All right, here we go. This is our game of the week. This is Thursday night at Citizens Field in Gainesville. Buchholz hosting Bartram Trail. This has been a classic. Last year, Bartram Trail won in the regular season. Buchholz beat them in the region final by 1 point. At both games were at Bartram Trail. This time it's at Citizens Field.
In Citizens Field, it's Buchholz. It's home for them. There's so many things there, and Miles Graham is everything for Buchholz. He just is.
Well, and again, Quentin Cutler, since he's been back, has really been running the ball well. Buchholz is just not. Buchholz hasn't even really been challenged. Vanguard they beat by 20. They beat Oakley by 35. They've just had any. I'm gonna do a Jonathan Ferris question in a moment. But I like Buchholz to win this game. I mean, I think this is the toughest test they're going to get. Bartram Trail, obviously very, very talented. Corey Johns in his first year, taking over for the retired Darryl Sutherland. This has become quite a rivalry, but I think Bartram Trail is the best team Buchholz has played to this point, but I still think Buchholz will win this game.
And I don't disagree with you, sir, on that one. I am going with Buchholz, the Bobcats. Bartram Trail, great schedule. They have played tough. I mean, your 3 losses are to ING, St. Augustine, and Mainland. But unfortunately, it's going to be 4-4 probably here coming up soon for Bartram Trail, in my opinion.
They might be the best 4-4 team in Florida.
I mean, and there's a reason why I've kept Bartram Trail ranked in the top 10 in Florida. So it's because of their schedule. Right. That's the biggest reason why.
Yeah.
Is their schedule, and so you can't knock that. And but Buchholz, Buchholz could be moving to 8-0 under head coach Chuck Bell.
8-0 with the Fleming Island, and then Trinity Catholic left, so a good chance to go 10-0 when they beat Bartram Trail this week. Let's put that comment up from Jonathan Ferris. Any chance Middleburg upsets Bishop Kenny? And that's where I'll be Friday night, Bishop Kenny football.
Oh,
BK at Middleburg. This is supposed to be a game in week 2. It was postponed due to the hurricane, and now Bishop Kenny in the midst of a 4-game road trip. Did beat Episcopal last week, now 5-2. Middleburg, coming out that loss to Columbia, will host the Crusaders Friday night. I think there's a chance Middleburg can beat Bishop Kenny, no doubt.
Well, the chance, but I mean, Middleburg had a chance last week to potentially be in line for their first district championship since 1990. Not happening this year, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
postseason I think is definitely in the cards.
Yeah, the postseason for a second straight year, which has not happened since 1989, 1990.
Right. Allen Hall.
I think that is the chances of Middleburg making postseason 2 straight years. That the chances are definitely there for that. But the thing for Middleburg is, okay, well, what games do you need to win? Could you lose to Bishop Kenny and be all right? Yes.
Yeah. That's not a bad.
But you've got to beat Orange Park. You've got to beat Fernandina. Those are the 2 games you have to. Those are must-win games. You don't win those games.
Yeah, those
kiss that goodbye.
Losses, right. All
but
right.
beat Bishop Kenny. Hey, you're doing really good there in that case. And of course, and then Gene McKenzie comments says Buchholz wins easy in his opinion.
And it could be. All right, Jonathan Ferris says, "Great show tonight, guys. We appreciate it."
Yeah, we definitely do appreciate that here with everything that we have been doing, and
we enjoyed it. And that's going to do it. We've gone past 10:30 tonight. Thank goodness some folks have stayed up to watch us past this. Well, it's 9:30 in the Central Time Zone, but still. For Joshua Wilson of FloridaHSFootball.com, I'm Marty Pallman. This has been the North Florida Blitz. Enjoy week 9 of high school football. We will talk to you again next Tuesday night at 9:45 here on the North Florida Blitz. So long and good night.